All right, let's get one thing out in the open real quick. We had some serious audio problems on this one. We tried something new, didn't really work. Um, but you can understand what's being said. We had a good time with it. Um, I consider this gentleman family. He knows a lot more about range time and reloading and shooting on range and long distance shooting for precision than I ever will. So we got a good guest on. Everybody pay attention, and you might even learn something. We do go off on a little bit of a banner later on, but the first say quarter of it is pretty good stuff. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'm just gonna say watch your six and peace out now, because I don't even know how to add something to the end. This damn PC pisses me off. I gotta go back to using the Mac. Watch your six and peace out, and here's the podcast. All right, let's talk about range time. I know that's your happy place. I know you've seen some weird shit on the range. I know you have. You don't even have to. But I'd love to hear it if you can think of any weird shit, because this is the stuff I need people to hear. I really need people to hear how grossly incompetent some people are on the range. It's why I wear body armor to go to the range now.
Yeah.
Well, not just, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. I've got a few instances, sure.
Well, dish.
Pardon?
Well, let's hear them.
All right. I was shooting a handgun with an older gentleman, 5-6 years ago, and he was hand loading. It was a 1911. He had 45 auto, and he fired around, and boy, it wasn't loud. It kind of sounded like a pop. And he opens the chamber up, racks it back, lets another one go in, and he was about ready to fire, and I screamed at him, "Stop!" The round went off enough to get that bullet right about in the middle of the barrel. It did not exit the barrel. He would have blown up his handgun and his hand if I wouldn't have stopped him.
That's a squib load. Or squib,
that's what they call a
squib load. Yeah. And it was a Magnum on top of that.
Yes.
Dude, that might have taken both of you out if you were close enough to yell at him, hear it. That shrapnel flies, man.
Yeah, I was about 10 foot away. I probably would have got something.
What was it? A Dan Wesson, Smith & Wesson, Ruger? What was it? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was a Ruger.
I know the Pythons are designed that because the state police were carrying the 357s and the Pythons and stuff, they had it, the contract with Colt, to where the top of the revolver and the top of the cylinder, it eludes me right now, the rotating cylinder,
yeah,
it would actually blow straight up in the air if too much pressure built up. Yeah. And it was actually I've actually seen one blow out of range. The guy got a powder burn on his hand. That was all he got out of it. But it was a 357 and the top blew off. And I was like, holy shit, it worked. Holy shit. When I first went through the academy, we were carrying Smith & Wesson Model 10s with the bull barrel on it. Still one of my favorite guns of all time. You can count on a revolver, man. You can't count on a semi-automatic, but you can count on a revolver. And
you can.
We beat the shit out of those guns. We beat the hell out of those guns. I know, and I'm not proud to say it, but I remember when we were on the outside range at NASA Lewis. That was the first police department I belonged to, the NASA Research Center in Cleveland. And
right.
I remember using one of those Model 10s to pound a nail into a tree to hang a target on the outside range. That was way back in the day, bro. But so when we publish this, it's gonna sound like we're a little more distant than previous podcasts, but it's the only way I could get it to work with the speakerphone. We're just having too many audio problems. I will have it fixed before the next one.
No problem, John. No problem.
What do we got going on with what? Oh shit! I was gonna ask you a question. Nah, it's gone, dude. You got to come up with something, man. I can't come up with everything. Come on, man. What do you want to talk about?
You want to keep talking about reloading?
Yeah, keep talking about reloading. I need people to hear. I need people to hear a common sense approach to reloading and also safety, because neither seem to exist in the world we live in right now.
No, no, it really doesn't. I would strongly suggest if you're going to start out reloading and your end game is going to be saving money, that you buy factory ammunition only. Reloading, to me, and the people I've learned it from over the last 3 decades, it is for accuracy only. And really, that's my only approach. I will load 9 mil, 223, whatever, and go shoot it. But if shit hit the fan, I would have mags full of factory ammo.
See, now that's what I need to hear. That's what I need. I need people to hear.
Yeah.
I just got for Father's Day. I just got a big box of their special purpose rounds. They're home defense rounds. They're designed for maximum expansion, but low penetration inside like walls and stuff.
Kind of a fragmentation round, you're saying?
Yeah, the ballistic tests I've seen online with Jello and stuff, it's like shooting a chainsaw at somebody, man. I have seen those. That's in my first. That's what do you call it? First grab gun. That's in my first grab gun. Yeah. I can't even imagine what he spent on those. They had to be expensive, but they're in there, and kind of looking forward to getting a chance to use them. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. That's cool. That's going to come back and haunt me in court. You watch. That's going to come back and haunt me. Why'd you shoot him 20 times? He was still twitching. So, why I tell my fiance, you know, if you have to shoot them till they stop twitching. Don't take any chances. And
is that not what most police departments train to?
Well, right now,
deadly situation.
What I've been noticing and what I've been hearing and talking to my brothers in blue, more and more police have adopted the philosophy, not the philosophy, but we'll call it the mag dump technique.
Yeah.
You pay attention, you know, to news and stuff, and you hear, you know, 2 officers involved in a shooting, and they'll say over 120 shots were fired. Bro, that's several reloads. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Because bad guys don't practice. They don't reload that fast. They're more likely to, statistically speaking, they're more likely to grab a second gun and to try to reload. Yeah. Cops reload. Cops are trained. And when you hear that 120 rounds were fired at one person, that's multiple reloads. I can't think of her name. Jasmine Crockett, her bodyguard that got shot in that parking garage. 300. Okay. I think I've heard all kinds of things. I think the first, and I tend to trust the first numbers more because the news tries to dumb things down in the left wing stuff to try to make it sound less or more or whatever. But I think I had heard that there were over 300 rounds fired in that parking garage.
I can believe that.
I mean,
they're trained. I mean, once they use deadly force, that's what they use it for. The end purpose is deadly force.
Yeah, so, it's not to stop you anymore. It's to unalive you now. That's what this whole thing is about, is unaliving you.
Exactly.
It's one of those reasons why, you know, I tell people, don't waste your money on body armor starting. Get the things you need, the beans, bullets, and the Band-Aids. Don't waste your money on body armor, because chances are you're going to get shot in the face or in the crotch or in the legs.
Exactly.
You know, if somebody's shooting a wall of lead at you, 200 plus rounds for something stupid you did, you're not going to walk away from it. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't matter. You'd be better off passing and expiring than living with that many bullet holes in you. So, that being said, I'm working on my best. It's starting to look pretty good. I got it decked out pretty good. But
cool.
No, I just the way things are, and you know, you got these hood rats carrying the Glocks with the switches on them. Man, dump the shotgun, dump your Glock, dump it again, dump your AR. You know, keep going until you run out of ammo, for Christ's sake. It's just How do you if you don't have a fully automatic weapon, how do you combat a fully automatic weapon? You don't. It's like taking a knife to a gunfight. You know,
Yeah, pretty much.
law enforcement's lucky that half the time, I don't know if you've seen some of these confiscated weapons, they don't have sights on them. Oh God, that pisses me off. Sorry. You see these ARs, the SBRs, ARs, no sights
Yeah.
on, no sights on them.
No sights whatsoever. They don't have
None.
a red dot. They don't have the flip up sights. Nothing.
Nothing.
I've seen that.
So I ask you, um, what's what's the point? You know, you're going to hold it out fully extended. You're not even looking down the barrel. Half the time, they're closing their eyes when they shoot them. Because that's what people do that aren't trained. If they don't have sights, what's the point? They actually close their eyes when they shoot the gun. Watch the videos. Watch the police videos.
Oh, I've seen that. I have seen that. Yep.
So
have you ever heard of something? This was a joke many years ago. It was called Homeboy Night Sights.
no.
It was a fictitious company, and I don't remember the name of the company, but they would sell Homeboy Night Sights for Glocks and similar guns. Instead of putting the front and rear sight on the top of the slide, they put it on the side.
Oh, geez. No, I never heard of it, but I believe it. When I was in the academy, that shooting that thing when they hold it out sideways was addressed. And I'm going to tell you something. When this playback, I'm looking at the sound bar. When this playback comes back, my voice is going to be a lot louder than yours.
Was it?
I'll figure it out though for the next one. People can just live with it. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. People can live with it.
Yeah.
But we did 2 studies in the academy when I was in. We got to partake in them. You can fire more rounds faster holding the gun like that sideways. Something about the flexor tendon responds quicker to the release when you hold the gun sideways rather than up and down. And the flexor tendon is what. Well, it's what the flexor tendon is what operates your index finger, if I'm not mistaken. Dude, it's been years. I don't remember verbatim what it was. But the other one we did was, have you ever heard where they say, like, if somebody has a knife at 25, 30 feet and your weapon's holstered, they're going to beat you every time getting to you before you can draw your weapon? Have you ever heard that?
I've heard of that, yes.
My academy, myself and a guy that was a detective for a long time, we beat the 30-foot rule. We figured it out.
You did?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. The idea is, and it takes a lot of, man, I don't know what I want to say. I'm not going to say it on here. I don't want people practicing this outside. I'll tell you on the phone when I talk to you later or something. There is a way to beat it. And actually, I use that when I train for anything more than close quarters combat. That's how I shoot now. Yeah. I keep my weapon in tight. I don't like what do they call it? Appendix carry. I think appendix carry is bullshit. If I'm close enough to you and I see you twitch, I'm watching your midsection. I'm not going to be watching your eyes when there's something about to go down. If we're close, I don't watch your eyes. I don't watch your head. I watch your midsection because your body
can't. Watch the middle of the body.
Your body can't move without moving your midsection. It's just that simple. Yep. And if your weapon's there, you're already looking where the weapon is. And if I see the midsection, because the first thing you do when you go to draw a gun in appendix carry is you slightly hunch over, which is the worst thing you can do, and you tighten up. You core up. And that tells me you're going for your weapon. I can beat you. Right. I can beat you to your weapon if I can, if I'm close enough. You're not getting that weapon out of the holster. You're a fish out of water. And if I can get my finger on it, I'm going to shoot you in the crotch with your own weapon. But if I have it,
sounds like a mile, but boy, it isn't. You can close that gap fast.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying it's. There's so many misconceptions with we're going from range reloading to range to concealed carry, I guess, but that's fine. Yeah. That's what we do. I don't give a shit. And I've been teaching some people lately, wear it either. Now, smaller back is dangerous because people are arrogant enough right now to just rip it out of the holster if they see it in your small back. But if you're wearing a pancake inside the waistband or outside the waistband on your hip, that's a maximum weapon retention position. That's where you can retain the weapon the best. And, think about it, like if I'm going to grab your gun, like if I see it before you go for it and I go to grab your gun, if it's at appendix carry, there's a really good chance I'm going to get it. Okay.
So what do you like better? Do you like the thumb retention the snap holster or the open top?
All right. I do not like a suicide strap. You know, the one that comes over the top and snaps. I do not like suicide straps at all because
Okay.
I just, you might think you unsnapped it and you didn't. And then you got that, what is that, like 2 seconds you're yanking on the pistol and it's not coming out.
Yeah.
I do not like, I will cut the suicide strap off before I'll snap it on and then it's open top.
My philosophy exactly.
In Miami, we had to carry on duty. We had to carry triple retention holsters, and we had to in Sarasota as well. Where you got to shit stomp and light a match to get out of the holster, and it takes a lot of practice. You got to flip the strap on top over. You got to push down on there's a thumb release where you have to push down on the inside of the holster. Then you have to push the weapon down and twist it away from the holster to lift it out. If you practice it, you can become very effective at it, but it takes a lot of practice. And it's almost impossible to do in a car. That's what I didn't like about it. In a cruiser, it's almost impossible to do that, to get your weapon out of the holster. That was my biggest problem with it. So I'm a double retention kind of guy. Triple retention saved my life once. We had run into a crowd of people. We were responding in Dadeland South, and we had run into a group of people that were fighting. And I mean, you're in it. You're in it to win it at that point. You're just like fists are swinging, and in Miami, there's more colors than you can count, just clothing, and it's like a Peter Max nightmare throwing fists at you. And we're engaged. We're both engaged. And, one of the things you'll be trained on in the academy, and I don't know if they still do or not, they probably use body armor hook now, the handle on the back of the body armor. But we were always told to get your partner out, grab onto the duty belt and pull them out backwards. You tap them on the shoulder twice, say, we're moving, and you pull them out. And what happened was I felt my holster going, and I thought it was my partner pulling me out. And
oh no.
I got about 3 steps, and I looked down, and it was a kid trying to yank my pistol out of my SIG out of the holster. And if that wasn't triple retention, he would have had it, because he had already beat the thumb brake, and he was pushing down on the button, but he didn't know about the twist.
That's scary.
And this all happens in a second, 2-3 seconds. This all happens, and it's like,
damn. If
I wouldn't have been. It was something. I just think, I think something was thrown, and I turned my head to avoid, I turned my face to avoid getting hit with it. And that was when I saw the kid yanking on the holster. I wouldn't have even known that. It's not like I have this supernatural power or anything. That kid would have got my gun. Damn. So,
that's scary.
In that situation, triple retention probably saved my life, or at least somebody's life. I don't know if the kid would have used it on me or not, but.
Now, were you in a big crowd of people?
Yeah, it was huge. Dadeland South is one of the busiest metro line stations in Miami. It's a big station, and 5 o'clock that thing is packed. And it was like 5:10 when I think it was 5:13, because I had to go over it so many times. But I think it was 5:13 p.m. when the whole thing broke out. The train was late and people were freaking out, and it was hot as balls and nobody was happy. And long story short, usually when I love the Cuban culture, I love Cuban people, I really love Cuban food, but Cubans like to fight. And it was hot. It was miserable. The train was late. Friday night, people wanted to get to Calle Ocho and start partying, and they're sitting there in a train station sweating their ass off. People were unhappy. So that time, all I'm getting at is that time a triple retention holster might have saved my life. For personal carry, I'm going to have to go with some kind of retention on there, because I practice drawing. And when I draw, I don't lift it up. I don't put it out in front of me. I just rotate it towards the target. I told you before, statistics are going to prove 99% of the time you get in some kind of armed conflict, they're going to be close enough to spit on them. You don't have to pull the gun up to aim. You start pulling the trigger, you're going to hit them. You just point and shoot. You have the weapon retention then. Your weapon's back because it was on your hip. You should have already turned your hip back and taken a step back to turn the weapon away and the holster away from your body at the very least before you engage. Once you draw the weapon, you keep it back at your hip and point across your body. You don't put that weapon in front of you. That's how you engage a target. There's no reason to bring that weapon up and aim when you're that close. It just doesn't. There's no sense in it.
Well, if you bring it away from your body, aren't you asking for trouble? Somebody can
Well,
just
yeah, somebody's either
grab
going
your hand and
somebody's going to take it from you, or they're at least going to control.
Yeah.
At the very least, they're going to control it.
Right.
When you have it down there, if you have to, if you have no reason to go to lethal when you want to go non-lethal, you can always bring that weapon, the pistol, up in a punch and punch him in the head with the barrel of the gun. Careful
Yeah.
not to have your finger on the trigger. Bad things happen when your finger's on the trigger if you're not ready for it. But you
Correct.
punch somebody in the face with the barrel of that weapon, with that slide and that barrel, dude, they're going down. It's over right there. And that's non-lethal. That's considered non-lethal.
Wow.
Well, it used to be considered non-lethal. With these bleeding heart liberals, I don't even know anymore. But it was non-lethal. So, yeah, go
Depends
figure.
on the time of day for them.
Well, the problem is the people already want to defund the police. They're going to use every excuse they can get. They're going to probably try to say you were trying to shoot him and the weapon jammed. You know, I don't know. I don't trust. I don't trust much of anything
Nope.
anymore.
Nope. I don't. I don't either. There's very few people that do.
Well, it's not our fault.
No, it's not.
You know, I'm not conditioned to not trust the government like a lot of these freaking purple-haired, blue-haired, nose-ring people don't trust the government. I haven't been conditioned. I've lived a life. I've lived a lot of years. I remember how it used to be. I remember when it was great. I remember living under Ronald Reagan and loving everything I did, every breath I took. I loved it. And now it's like, I won't go to the grocery store unarmed anymore. I won't. I refuse. So
Even in the small town we live in, we don't either.
well, you know, it's one of those things where it's better to be looking at it than looking for it, you know?
Correct.
So
I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
yeah, I'll suffer the burden of carrying that extra pound or two, you know, just for the peace of mind. How's that?
Right.
You know, and now with you know, I'm not going to say her name on this, but now with my fiance's condition after the accident, she's extremely vulnerable to being attacked, or whatever word you want to use, because she carries her purse against my better judgment. I tell her, I'll carry your debit card in my wallet or whatever, but she
Right.
carries her purse when she's out, and she's doing that kind of, for lack of better terms, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, when she's really tired or when she's getting off center, she kind of walks like Frankenstein. And that is the ultimate time to grab something from her, because anybody that knows anything about body physiology knows she's not going to have any retention on her purse at that point. You know, she's just focusing on walking. So
Sure.
I don't like her taking it out, but she does. And well, I might as well yell into a toilet. It's going to accomplish more. But I really wanted to start taking her to the range again, but I think we're going to just settle on pepper spray. She hits herself with pepper spray, she's not going to hurt herself. It's just going to be uncomfortable for a while.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out a way, because she didn't have use of her right hand, and I was trying to figure out a way that she could draw with her left hand and transfer it to her right hand if she absolutely had to. But the physiology and the physics, it just got to be too much. And I just said, no, we're going with pepper spray. So, I mean,
I think that's the best.
if she's shaking her hand, you know, if she's shaking like she does, that's the ultimate way to use pepper spray anyhow, is cover the target. So,
Yeah.
but no, I hate that the fact that, you know, we're looking for a new church around here. We still haven't found a new church since we moved. And I hate the fact that I know I'll be wearing when I go to church. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. But I cannot, in good conscience, attend any kind of religious ceremony without a weapon. There's just too much
I
shit
would prefer to have one.
Yeah, there's too much shit going on. Until they
Yep,
install
way too much.
till they install a metal detector at the door, I'm not worried about it. So,
Right.
you know, that's the other thing I was reading up on. I don't know how it is in your state, and don't say the state name. But I don't know how it is in your state, but I've been reading how it is in my state, and even establishments with no weapons allowed on the door, they have no legal power to stop you from carrying that weapon in. Now, if they see it or you're brandishing it, they can ask you to leave, and they can, you know, tell you not to come back and have you I don't know if they can serve trespass in this state. I know some states they can. They can ask you to leave though, but they have no power. The police have no power over you wearing a weapon in a place with a no weapons permitted sign. Now the police are going to yank you out. Don't get me wrong. I would if I was on call and then I got called. I'd yank you out too. But the truth of the matter is, nothing's going to happen to you legally just because you're carrying. So even if the church that we settle on has a no weapons allowed, guess what? I'm going to have a boomstick somewhere. So
Same here. Same here.
that's the nice thing about wearing baggy clothing to church and carry an AR down your leg if you're careful enough, you know. So
Only you and Jesus will know.
yeah, Jesus is cool with it. Trust me. We've had many talks. I've talked to God about feeling guilty
He's
carrying.
cool with ARs. Yep.
No, dude, I've had many talks with God about feeling guilty about carrying a weapon and concealed weapon, and you know I'm carrying it into a grocery store with women and kids and this and that and everything else. But I got to tell you, I'm resting comfortably knowing that I might be able to save one of them, myself, someone I love, or even a stranger, if it came down to it. So I've rested on, you know, screw it, I'm carrying. And
Yep. And that's the best reason in the world right there.
well, have you noticed less and less places have removed, or more and more places have removed their no weapons allowed signs? Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that over the years here. There's
Yeah.
many of those little signs in the front door that have
Yep.
disappeared.
Yep. I don't know what brought that change on. I'm just grateful for it. So I don't think there's any stores or bodegas or anything around here anywhere that you can spend money, even restaurants that say no weapons allowed.
Yes.
In this state, you can actually have a weapon in a bar, but God help you if liquor touches your lips and you're wearing that.
Same here. No drinking, but you can carry it.
Yep, that's the one
You cannot drink.
that's the one that surprises me. You know, you can walk into a bar with a howitzer as long as you don't drink any alcohol or shoot off the howitzer, you're legal. I just don't get that. But I'll take it. Hey, I wanted to tell you I put a new first aid kit together and I'm real happy with it. I got one of those Rhino rescue kits and I hated the pouch. I absolutely hated the pouch it came in. It stuck out like almost, it was between 4 and 6 inches. It stuck out from my range belt. I'm like,
Did you end up finding a good replacement for it?
Yeah, I actually found a pouch design with its Molly straps on it, so I could put it on my body armor.
Okay.
But it holds everything that was in the Rhino rescue pouch plus a whole lot more. So I'm really, really happy about that too. Because
Nice.
I don't like going to the range without a first aid kit. You know, somebody pokes a hole in you, the red stuff comes out pretty quick depending on where they hit you. And I have like an Israeli combat bandage and a compressed bandage and, you know, all kinds of blood stop in there and stuff. And I got room for more. So maybe I'll start shooting with my eyes closed again. I know what to do if somebody gets shot, you know.
But I tell you, in a situation like mine, my range is about 15, 18 miles away, and the phone service is terrible at best. And there's days where I'm out there all alone.
Dude.
So I'm going to have some kind of first aid kit.
You tell me you don't have anything.
Oh, I do.
Oh,
It's
okay.
It's in my vehicle.
Yeah, but you're not taking it to the bench when you're shooting.
I keep it in my shooting bag.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, I've talked to so many people that they say I always take a first aid kit to the range. Oh, so you have it there. You can reach it if like something happens. Well, I got to go back to the truck.
It's in the glove box. Yeah.
What the hell? Or they get one of those stupid $9 first aid kits at Walmart. And it's got like 3 Band-Aids and a pack of aspirin in it. And they think they're ready for an emergency on the range. It's like, dude, unless you're going to stuff those Band-Aids in the bullet hole, you got nothing going for you here.
Right.
So
yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those Israeli combat bandages. Really big fan. And you know, I do have a tourniquet. I don't like to use tourniquets, but I do have a tourniquet in there as well. I'm not a big fan, but like your situation where you said you're so far away and no cell phone coverage, that might be a tourniquet kind of day. That actually might. So, but no, I'm the only thing I didn't keep was the first aid book. And that first aid book was ridiculous. Pretty much rub dirt on it. It'll be okay.
Really?
You know? So I did get my Marine Corps division patch. I finally got that, so I'm happy about that.
Oh wait.
And yeah, I got the vest looking good. I got it looking really good. So I'm not a camo kind of guy. I like the OD green, the olive drab.
Yeah.
So I got a black.
Solid olive drab or
It's this one. The one that I'm modifying is olive drab. I have another one, but that one's not olive drab. It doesn't matter what that is. I don't use that one. Although it does have stab protection, so six of
yeah.
one, half a dozen of another. It's getting older though, and I don't really trust it. That's the problem. It's all black, and I really don't trust it. The older it's got the bendable fat. It's a bendable fabric kind of body armor, 3A,
Okay.
and over time you just it's like a bandage. You just don't trust it over time. And I think I'm coming up on the 7 or 8 year mark on it, so I think that one's going to get rotated out. I'll see what it costs to put new plates in it, and if it's going to be expensive, I'm just going to get rid of it probably. The other one's all
Yeah.
new. Everything in the other one is all new. So,
For range bags and such, I tell you, I've run into this company a few years back, and it's top quality stuff. It's not cheap either, but it's called Savior Equipment. They make gun cases, bags, all sorts of stuff. You should check it out if you're ever in the market for something like that again.
well, the next backpack I get, I have like my 3-day bag has a spot for body armor in it. On your pack, the slip in
Okay.
in there. You can either put a flat. Have you ever seen those water flasks they make for in body
I
armor?
have.
You can either put one of those in, or you can put a plate in there. And I honestly think, as much as I'm opposed to, man, I'll tell you, it's like I got reborn with body armor. I was so opposed to body armor for so long, and I'm actually thinking about putting a plate in my 3-day pack.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about it. And realistically, when I was talking about the older body armor, that shit's going to be so expensive. That's at least $800 worth of body armor for the stab proof and the side panels and everything. I really doubt
That's a
them.
penny.
Huh?
That's a penny. That's a
It's
lot.
when it came out, it was state of the art. It had the thinnest, most flexible armor,
Yeah.
and now it's not the thinnest. It's not the most flexible, and it's getting older. And I really don't want my life depending on something that's going to go out of service probably in another year. So
Yeah.
the one I have now, the one I'm working on, you wouldn't believe how thin the panels are in this thing. You could crunch them up in a ball almost. They're that, but man, are they nice. They are so, and it's so light compared to regular armor.
I
So
get to see that. I get to see those.
yeah, I bought it from a very reliable source I know in Florida from living down there.
Uh-huh.
He did me a favor. He gave me two from his shop. He sold me two from his shop.
Uh-huh.
They were the ones that he would show to people. They weren't sitting in the sun, nothing like that. They were the ones he'd take out and show to people. But he got even newer ones that are even thinner. And
Wow.
the problem with it is the thinner it gets, the more it's going to detent. Like the bullet will travel further into the armor, and you're going to like get broken ribs and shit like that. That's the nice thing about the
Okay.
thick, heavy plates, but they're thick, heavy plates. Which do you want to wear? Now you think about this, all right? On a day you're out at the range and it's hot as balls out there, and like bugs are bursting into flames in the air. It's so hot. Do you want 3/4 inch plates in there, or do you want something that's bendable and moves with you and breathes a little bit, and the weight is almost insignificant? Which would you rather
Yeah.
have?
Sure wouldn't want plates. I sure would not want plates.
No, and I like to shoot prone a lot from a bipod. I'm a big prone bipod shooter, and it
Mm-hmm.
it is so. But that's the other thing. That's what I wanted to talk to you about when you're on the range. People don't think about it. If you're wearing body armor, like if you sighted a scope in at like 400, and you
Okay.
you put body armor on, you're not going to be hitting right, because your stock placement's going to be different. Your cheek on the cheek pad is going to be different. That's what I like about this thin stuff. It doesn't mess that
Okay.
up. You keep your
Yeah.
dope. Your dope stays the same. It doesn't change. So I'll check. You want me to see if he still has some stuff?
I tell you, I'd be interested.
All right, let me check with him.
Sure.
I'll try to call him tonight. Getting off subject. Sorry. I'll get. Well, I showed you. I sent you that picture of what it was starting to look like, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah, it looks a lot better now.
Sure.
So, well, dude, we've been talking for like an hour, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it goes fast, right?
It sure does.
All right. Well, just keep your seatbelt on. We'll be doing it again real soon. All right. I'll figure
Okay,
out this
you got
sound.
it.
I'll figure out this sound. I'm gonna do a sound check and everything when we're done. And if this
Yeah.
didn't work out, we'll have to scratch it. But I think it'll be good enough quality that we can use it. All right. And if it doesn't, it
Well,
doesn't.
use your best judgment. If it doesn't sound good, don't use it. We can try over.
All right. So do you want to
You know?
say? Do you want to say anything to the blue and purple haired liberals that won't get me canceled?
Yeah, get a job, you bum.
Yeah. They need God more than anything. They need God. After God
That
get
they
it.
do.
After God get your job, but get some God in you first.
Get God and get a paycheck and get out of my way.
Yep. Stop dragging us all down.
Yep.
Freaking liberals. All right, brother. I'm gonna get off now. You good?
I'm good.
All right. I'll probably call you tomorrow, right?
Sounds good.
All right,
Thank
later.
you. Thanks, brother.
All right, bye.
Right.